It's Debatable with Mark Gray here on MLBbros.com.
All right, boys and girls, welcome to Debatable, where we give it to you straight, no chaser, with our undeniable MVP, who is certainly not available by trade at the deadline, Manny Ramirez Brown. Manny, what's the deal?
What's good, Mark? What's good, MLB Bro Nation? Let's get it.
I'm your MLB Bro, Mark Gray, and here's how the OGs get down. New York Yankees pitcher Nestor Cortes in the eye of a storm for tweets that came out that he made while he was in high school. Did Cortes strike out with tweets as an adolescent?
Well, listen, I'm with you in the sense that you and I, we share the same skin color. We're from the same culture, right? That's how a lot of the youth talk. I'm not even going to lie and sit here and say that when I'm around my friends in, private settings, that's not how I talk. That being said, man, Nestor Cortes knew at some point in his life that he was going to be a professional someday. Maybe not a major leaguer, but at the very least, he knew that he was going to pursue this as a job. And I think that this is a failing of parents and OGs and people and support systems in your life, man. Like, you got to have an OG around that say, yo, bro, you can't talk that way online, man. Everything is transcribable now. Everything can be screenshotted. Everything can be recorded. Everything can be taken and used out of context 10, 15 years after the fact. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's fair. But that's the way it is. These athletes need to start understanding that, listen, for better or for worse, everything that you do is under a microscope or will someday be under a microscope if you do become successful or do become to the point where you're at the top of your profession. So you can't do this. Whether you're 17, whether you're 5, you can't do this. And it's crazy that that's the world we live in, but it is what it is.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because you're right. Sometimes parents, guardians et al. Get intoxicated by the celebrity and potentially the size of the check. Somebody should have been guiding him, but who really polices their kids' social media adequately enough these days, or certainly back then when this was becoming a phenomenon? So I'm going to give him a pass, and the fact that he owned it. He stood up in the locker room and he answered the questions by the vigilant New York press. He owned it. He said it wasn't what he was about. And to this point, he has been a model citizen in Major League Baseball. But he can serve as an example, like you said, and if baseball really wanted to get out and sort of make a plausible commitment to social change, back him up in PSAs and teach him what to say in social media so that the next generation of ball player coming up doesn't have an embarrassing circumstance like this that is soiling what is, to this point, a breakout season. Trading deadline coming up shortly. You look at the list of pending major league free agents or guys that are available at the trading deadline. Who do you think is the most tradable and viable option who could be a free agent next year that you would try to trade for if you're a contender?
I think it's Carlos Correa, man. I mean, I just got a notification, matter of fact, as we started recording this, that the Twins are sending down their top prospect who was off to a hot start because Carlos Correa is back. That being said, man, when you got a young prospect like that's tearing it up, that everybody seems to swear by, that is going to be the next big thing, and you're the Minnesota Twins. Again, this is the Minnesota Twins now. This isn't, the New York Yankees or the Mets or somebody like that can afford to take on such a high price commitment. I think if you're the Twins, I think that if you're in a situation where Correa maybe plays well but isn't playing up to his normal potential as far as numbers, and you still have that specter of him opting out of his contract. Remember, he signed a 1-year opt-out. So he could be a free agent. I think if you're the Twins, you get the best of both worlds. You can be in contention, trade Carlos Correa, get something back for him, and you still have a young prospect to replace him right then and there and still be in contention. And even if they fall out of contention, it's even more of a motivation to trade him. So I think it's Carlos Correa for me.
To me, talking about teams falling out of contention, barring a miracle of biblical proportion in the next 6 weeks, I got to go with Boston Xander Bogaerts. I mean, he's supposed to be a cornerstone of a contending team, and Boston hadn't contended in about 3 years. Now, they got rings already with that guy on the team. Don't get it twisted. And he is one of the best players in the game at his position right now. But Boston is like a rudderless boat in the middle of the harbor right now, trying to get to one of those tea bags. It ain't working this year in the Fins. And if I got to make a move and pull the plug on somebody, I'm looking to move a Bogaerts, get a prospect up into his spot, and start moving forward. I don't know if you got to tear the Red Sox down, but that foundation is definitely as creaking as one of those bleacher seats out there next door to the Green Monster. So when I'm looking at American League teams who have options to purge themselves of and get better, Boston has one in Bogaerts, veteran player, still productive, and knows how to win. I think for a team that's on the cusp, he could be the missing link for about 6 weeks during the regular season, and then, send him out the pasture and see what is up. That is Man Ram. We can guarantee you one thing. We ain't trading him this season. It's your boy, the MLB OG. Well, he doesn't look like he's going to be around too much longer, but his agent, I ain't even got Scott Boras, so I could be out there. Anyway, that's debatable for this week. Hey, always a pleasure, Man Ram. We'll holler back at you next week.
Same.
MLBbros.com.